Welcome to your love reading. I typically tend to channel for lovers who are in separation. And let's dive in. We are going to start with what is your person's current energy towards you. And the first card out we have is Destiny. I am struggling to find the right path. I think for some of you, your person, especially if you are not together, they walked away from you. They told themselves that your relationship was not right. They didn't actually feel this way, but because of other circumstances, real or made up in their own heads, they thought that the best thing they could possibly do for you and for them was to walk away. And for however long it's been that they've been gone, they have been struggling to find their way. They keep telling themselves that it's right, even though the universe keeps showing them just how wrong it is. They can't seem to make sense in their head of why things aren't going their way. They told themselves that walking away from you was the right thing to do. They assumed that everything was going to fall in line. And it's been the exact opposite. Absolutely nothing goes right. I'm being shown an image of you get up in the morning and things are going good. You're getting ready for work. And the next thing you know, there's a rip in your pants. And then you pour coffee on yourself. And then your car won't start. All of these little things that by themselves are basically just annoying. And I think in some situations, those annoying things are probably a lot bigger than that. But it almost feels like they have this black cloud hanging over them. And I don't think they've yet made the connection that it's because they are fighting against their own destiny. This person is meant to be with you, fully with you. So if when you were together, if they were there, but they weren't all in, that's what they're meant to do, is experience being all in with you. They didn't allow that to happen for their own reasons. I don't really think that this has much of anything to do with you, except for, I think your relationship, what I'm hearing is that your relationship or who you were to them was something that they had never experienced before. As much as they loved it, it scared the crap out of them. They did not feel like they were deserving of it. And they lived in this double-edged sword of wanting to be with you, wanting to go all in, but convincing themselves that you were too good to be true. And ultimately, they felt like they couldn't be the person that you deserved. And I feel like you told them very straightforward who you were, what you were looking for, and what you wanted. And they could not hear what you were saying because the voice in their own head was so loud that it didn't matter what you said, how you said it, you just weren't going to get through. So know that this is not about you. This is about them. This is about how they feel about themselves. This is about what they feel like they deserve, what they feel like they can give you. In their minds, they are convinced that you deserve the sun, the moon, and the stars. And they see themselves as nowhere near that. And they didn't feel like they could deliver you the sun, the moon, and the stars. And ultimately, that's why they walked away. They thought they were doing you a favor so that you could move on and you could find somebody who was going to give you the sun, the moon, and the stars. And they ultimately thought that by walking away from you and allowing you to find someone who could give you what they couldn't, or what they told themselves that they couldn't, that they were doing you a favor. But also, once they walked away, their life was going to go back to the way that it was before you. And that's what they're experiencing now. That's what this destiny card is saying. That's where their energy is. They thought everything was going to go back to the way that it was before you, but that's impossible. They've already experienced life with you. They can no longer experience life without you. And the universe is making it difficult for them to exist on a daily basis because they're going against the grain. This is not what they're meant to be doing. They're meant to be healing, figuring out how they can be that person that they think that you deserve, and then showing up as that person. And until they get that, until they start to do that, the universe is going to make them uncomfortable, and they're going to continue to struggle to find the right path. All right, guys, let's see what your current energy is towards them. Okay, so we have two cards that came out together. First, we have thinking, missing you, craving, and desiring. So I feel like, let's do this over here. And then we also have obscurity, secrets, mysteries, and concealing. You guys are likely in a period where I get the feeling like it's been a while since you have been with this person, since you've even talked to this person. You've been doing the work, you've been healing, you've been learning your lessons, you've been redesigning yourself from the inside out. And there have been long periods of time where you haven't even thought of them, let alone were missing them or wanting to have communication with them. But for some reason, guys, you are, let me just fix that. There we go. All of a sudden, you're thinking about them. You're wishing that you could talk to them. You're wishing that things were different. You're questioning where they are, what they're doing, how they're feeling. Are they working on themselves? Are they making progress? Are they suffering? And you're wondering if they're suffering not because you want them to, but because you want them to be learning, but at the same time, you know what you've been through, and you still have compassion for this person. You still have love for this person. And you feel like either they walked away without explaining themselves, and that's where the secrets, mysteries, and concealing comes in. Like, what was going through your head when you walked away? Like, you literally just turned around, walked out the door, and never looked back. Or you hung up the phone and I never heard from you again. Or you just ghosted the crap out of me. That's what keeps playing for you right now. Like, yes, there's that part of you that is missing them, that is wondering where they are, but there's the other part of you that is looking for those answers. You want to know from them what happened. But here's the thing, guys, you already know what happened. If you've been doing the work, which I feel like you have, and you've been getting to know yourself, trusting your intuition, growing, healing, learning your lessons, you already know. You know that this is about them and not about you, but there is still that part of you that is looking for them to verbally or in writing in some way communicate to you why they did what they did. I don't know that you're ever going to get that. I think some of you will, because I do get the feeling that for some of you, your people are doing the work. They have a plan. I keep hearing the song, I think it's Old Dominion. I really shouldn't try to sing it for you, but it goes something like, I'm on my way, I'm coming home, or I'm coming back. I look like hell, baby, but I don't care. If you know that song, put it in the comments, but that's what I keep hearing. So for some of you, your person is doing the work, right? They have a plan. They've had their aha moment. They're figuring it out, but they're not coming back until they have their shit together. But for a small group of you, they're not coming back. They're not going to wake up. They're not going to heal. You need to be okay with your inner knowing. You need to be okay that they're not going to come back and tell you what happened, why they didn't respond to you, why they just walked away, why they never looked back. You have to be okay with the inner knowing that that is a them problem, not a you problem. You need to find your own closure. Because if you don't, you're going to drive yourself crazy. It's essentially like waiting for something that is never coming back. And in all honesty, guys, that's a waste of your time and energy. You have done too much work on yourself to waste any more time and energy on them. Like, let them is what comes to mind, right? Let them suffer. Let them sit in whatever it is that they're sitting in. Let them stay the same and never change. That's not the road that you're on. And you can have compassion for them. You can feel sorry for them. You could empathize with how hard it is to look within and make changes. But what you can't do is change them. You can't talk them into it. You can't give them an example, and you can't wait for them to come back, not even permanently, and that's not even what you want. You don't want them to come back, but you do want to hear from them what it is that made them never contact you again. And guys, let me be real clear here. This person that's coming through is someone that you had a long-term relationship with. This is not somebody that you met on Tinder or Hinge or Bumble or whatever and went out on 1 or 2 or 3 dates and you never heard from them again. This is someone that you were in a long-term relationship with, like a year or more of a relationship, that at some point never called you again. Never answered your text messages, walked out your front door, and you never saw or heard from them again. That's the relationship that we're talking about here. And this is where your energy is at. You're wanting something from them that you're not necessarily going to get. So next, let's look at how is your person feeling about this connection. Okay, so first we have, I haven't felt this way about anyone else ever. This is uncharted territory. 100%. That's why they walked away. You scared the ever-loving shit out of them. You were everything that they wanted and everything that they didn't know that they wanted until they met you. If you were to ask them, are you a good person? They would say, yes, I am. I am a good person. I've done good things. I've cared for others. I, have tried to pave my way in this world. And that's all true. But they have work that they need to do on themselves. And because of that, they don't feel like they deserve you at all, right? So next they say, memories of us still linger even after all this time. They think about you. constantly. They hate it. In some ways, they hate it, and in other ways, it is very comforting to them. It's almost like a warm blanket to them. If they go through time, like a day, even hours, that they don't think of you or you don't pop up, like it's almost like they have a little bit of panic. The thoughts of you, the memories of you, and they're good and they're bad, right? Because I don't think that they are happy with how they acted, what they did. They're not proud of it by any means. But you, the concept of you was completely foreign to them. And they just didn't know how to handle it. Like flat out, did not know how to handle it. Okay, so next we have I dream of you, right? 100%. Wouldn't surprise me if they dream about you almost every single night. I think they daydream about you. I think they daydream about what could have been, right? Or even what could be. Because don't forget, some of your people have a plan. They're coming home, baby. Not yet. Definitely not yet. But they're working on it. So they think about this constantly. I think they think about the good times with you. I think that they are processing the not so good times. They take full responsibility. They know that it was them. They know that they are the reason why you cried so many tears, why you had so many sleepless nights, why you worried, why you stressed, why you had anxiety. They're the reason. They know that. But they also envision finishing their healing work and coming back to you. They don't want to come back until they have receipts. They want to be able to say to you, these are all the things that I did. There's no excuse for why I did them, but here's all of the ways that I have healed, I have grown, I have made changes so that I can be all in with you. Next we have, I feel so damaged and jaded. That is exactly how they feel. That is why they walked away. They felt so damaged that they felt like you don't deserve this. I don't want to put this on you. You deserve so much more. And then the last two cards that came out are just validation. As far as I'm concerned, I didn't want to let you go. I just didn't know where to go with this. We've been talking about this. They didn't want to. Like, you were literally the most amazing, life-changing thing that had ever come into their reality. And as much as they loved, wanted, desired you and a life with you, they felt damaged. They didn't feel like they were enough for you. They didn't know how to get out of the space that they were in. And they felt the best thing that they could possibly do was let you find someone who could give you what they felt like you deserved. And lastly, we have, I want to return to you. I do. I just want things to be different with us when I do. And this is exactly what I had been saying. They do want to come back, but they want to make sure that when they do, they are whole, that they are not a burden, that they have their shit together, that they have cleared their emotional blockages, that they can see themselves differently, that you can see them differently. They want to make sure that when they show up, they're showing up 100% for you. And that's going to take some time. I feel like if you guys have been in a period of separation, 6 months, a year, your person likely just started, like maybe the last month or two, just started, if that long, just started to work on themselves, work on healing. They just admitted to themselves how important of a part in their life you played, and they're just starting to get their stuff together. For some of you, it may not be very long, but for others, I wouldn't expect them to knock on your door tomorrow. I think it's definitely going to take some time. And the other thing to remember is just because they knock on your door doesn't mean you have to answer it. If you have moved on, if you have somebody else and you're happy, you do not have to answer their call. Just because they did the work does not mean that you have to accept it. Okay? If they did the work and they're too late, that is not on you. If you're in a place where you don't want to go backwards, you just want to go forwards, you do not have to answer the call. Not at all. Okay, now we're going to look at how are you feeling about the connection? What is it that you are thinking about when it comes to this person? I wish with all my heart you would figure out who we are to each other. And here we go. I feel like I need closure or some kind of resolution. Okay, so we talked about how there's two different sides to this, right? Some of you are waiting for that closure. You're waiting to hear them say why they walked away and why they did what they did. Others, you're thinking about them with love and compassion, and you want them to come back. You want them to heal themselves, and you want them to come back. I feel like they're both a slippery slope. It's okay to feel like this, especially wanting them to come back. What's not okay is you waiting for that to happen. That's not okay. You need to continue to work on yourself. You need to continue to blaze your own path forward, right? Because again, just because they did the work doesn't mean that you have to take them back. And the same thing over here. You can't necessarily wait for them to give you that closure. Sometimes you have to create it on your own. Sometimes you have to trust your inner knowing, and you have to believe what your gut is telling you so that you don't stick around waiting for that to happen. Okay. The next one we got out is, I know that triggering is part of this journey. It's no fun, but it's a perspective and opportunity for healing rather than an automatic victim mode. I think this is a message that you would like to tell them, right? Like, we all suffer. We all get triggered. We all have to sit in it. We all have to move forward. Please stop playing the victim. Like, you're not the only one who's been through some shit. Your person likely did play the victim. Anytime you would try to discuss something with them, they would likely try to one-up you, right? Without necessarily saying, oh, you think that's bad? Listen to this. There wasn't necessarily any of that, but they had a hard time opening themselves up to be there for you. And that's one of the reasons why they walked away, because they knew that they were in the victim mode when you were asking for them to be someone that you could lean on, and they couldn't do it. I feel like this one goes over here. And maybe this was the straw that broke the camel's back. That's what I just heard. That maybe they didn't know how not to play the victim, and they felt like I can't not be the victim, right? And I don't know how not to be the victim, and it feels like it's going to be really hard to not be the victim. So I'm just going to walk away. And then for the others of you, we have, I can't wait for you to get it. I have to keep moving forward. If you don't come back, Know there will always be a special place in my heart for you and for what might have been. Now, I do feel like this goes in this row of how you're feeling, but it does apply to everybody. You have to keep moving. You cannot wait for them to get it. There's no guarantee that they will. Just because you got it doesn't mean that they will. You can't wait. You can love them. You can have compassion for them. You can have empathy for them, and you can still be moving forward, building your own life, because there's no guarantee that they're going to get it, that they're going to stop playing the victim, that they're going to fix their damage, heal their crap, and come back, right? And the best thing that you can do for yourself is to keep building your life and keep moving forward. All right, next we're going to look at what are they not saying? What is the collective's person not saying? Or what is it that they wish that they could know? All right, I want you back. There's no surprise there. Not to me anyway, and I would think not to you. I admire you. And they do. They admire you. They see you as like this type of reading is not good for my OCD. They see you as like one of the strongest people that they know. They feel like, excuse me, they think you're Superwoman, right? And they've got a very peering through the windows view of your life. I feel like you guys are not connected on social media directly, right? You probably have mutual friends or acquaintances or whatever, and maybe occasionally they get a glimpse into your life from a mutual friend's social media or something to that effect, but you guys are not connected. So you don't really have direct insight into each other's lives. They may hear about you from mutual friends and vice versa. That's all they see, right? So they just, what they're seeing, their perception of what they're seeing, however it is that they're seeing it, is that nothing is holding you back. You're not letting anything hold you back. Like, you've been through some shit. They know you've been through some shit because they have put you through that shit themselves. You have been through shit beyond them, but they know it, right? They're so aware of it. And you just keep growing and glowing. You keep rebuilding yourself. You're clearing out the cobwebs. You're redefining who it is that you are and what it is that you want. And they admire the hell out of that. They also compare others to you. I think for some of you, your person is potentially in a relationship, and they are constantly comparing that person to you, constantly. They are wanting and wishing that person to be more like you. And for some of them, I don't feel like, for the ones that haven't gotten it yet, the ones that haven't woken up yet, they're not really making the connection that as much as they want the person that they're with to be with you, they should just get their crap together and be with you. They haven't made that connection yet. But others have 100%. Okay. Then we have, I don't know how to feel. And I don't think that they do, right? Because again, they're comparing everyone to you. Everyone to you. I feel like I get the sense that they have you in their head all day, every day, right? Whatever it is that they're doing, whatever it is that they're coming across, if they have to make a decision, if they need to form an opinion, whatever it is, they have your voice in their head chiming in, you're giving your opinion, and then they decide, do I feel like this? Do I not feel like this? But it's almost like what would so-and-so do, right? Constantly playing in their head. So they don't know how to feel. They know what they want. They know where they are. They know that they don't feel like they deserve what they want. They feel like they can't have what they want. And for each situation, it's a collective reading, right? So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But for each person, it's a little bit different. These are the common themes. Not every person is going to feel like this, but they don't know. For some of them, because I do feel like for the ones that have woken up and have started down the path of getting themselves together for you, now they know. But they spent a long time being like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to feel. I don't know. Indecision is a choice. If you don't know, then you are choosing to stay where you are. Some of your people got over that indecision. They made a choice. They're moving forward. But for the rest of you, they don't know. They don't know what to do. But they do wish we could go back, and you do inspire them. You inspire them and they admire you. Does it mean that all of them are about to come back, about to wake up, about to make changes? No, it definitely doesn't. Because I'm sorry to say it, but for some of you, your people will never get there. They just won't. For their own reasons. And that's not necessarily for you to know. That's part of their journey. And part of your journey is to learn how to move forward without closure, how to give yourself that closure, how to keep moving forward, how to build your life, how to know and recognize when it's a them problem and not a you problem, because you did nothing wrong. You brought everything to the table. You went all in. You laid your cards out with what you wanted, and they couldn't deliver. They couldn't deliver. That's a them problem, not a you problem. And yeah, they do wish that they could go back and make different decisions. If they could go back, if they had a time machine, they would make different decisions. They would do things differently. But we don't have time machines yet. We can't go back and change how things went down. We can only move forward. So either they're going to want to go back enough that they're gonna stand where they are and start to make changes to move forward in the hopes that they can get you back, or they're going to stay in this indecision and not know how to feel. And that's a choice. That's their choice. Your choice, collective, you're moving forward. Okay. What actions might they take next? Wow. Well, okay. I want to see you again, but now is not the right time. I'm afraid to open my heart. I can even hear you in the silence. So this could be because they want to show up whole and with receipts. They want to be able to prove to you that they have made the changes and they're ready to go. They can always hear you. We talked about this before. You are constantly playing in their head like a loop on repeat. You're their inner voice. It's you. When they are quiet or even not quiet, because you're always there. They can always hear you. But yeah, so some, they're on their way, baby, right? Others, they're still afraid to open up their heart. Some of them are a little butthurt. Your words hurt me, and I know mine hurt you. I'm sorry. I feel like, we're going to move this over here, because I feel like the ones that played the victim, that's what they're saying, right? Because that starts with your words hurt me. So first they're pointing the finger, and then they're being like, I know mine hurt you too. I'm sorry, whatever, but your words hurt me. Some of your people still very much In victim mode, we also have, I feel like I'm losing you. And for some, they are losing you because they're dragging their feet on getting their stuff together. You've been growing by leaps and bounds. You have been taking control of your life. You have been healing and growing and glowing. And what have they been doing? Of course they're going to lose you. You can't drag your feet on something and then expect that it's going to be there when you're ready. That's not how this works. It's not how any of this works. So if they're going to drag their feet, that's fine. You're running a marathon. You got goals, baby. You got dreams. You're going to fulfill every single one of them. They don't have to come back for that. If they want to be a part of it, they should get moving. And they should show up with receipts. But until then, you have your own agenda. And that's exactly how it should be. Okay, we are going to wrap this up with what guidance does the universe have for the collective about this connection? That's interesting. All right, let's see what all comes out and then we will go from there. I feel like the divorce is likely about your person, not about you. They could be experiencing a breakup, but this could also be them reinforcing that you should stay apart. The moving on. Someone is unavailable, a waste of time, it's over. Whew, we're gonna throw that right there. Someone is unavailable emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, right? In this moment, this is the universe's guidance for this collective regarding the connection. In this moment, your person is not available. If you are waiting, you're wasting time because right now it's over. You need to move on. The pregnancy card. Could it be literal for some of you? Absolutely. This is a collective reading. What I really am getting from this card is that once you move on, you're going to be birthing new ideas for yourself. You're creating new pathways forward. You are bringing new opportunities in for yourself. Passion projects, things that you have only dreamt of. You're going to be bringing it all in, right? So what I keep hearing is expect miracles because that's what's going to happen. Close the door, expect miracles. Distance, you and your partner may be physically or emotionally distant. I think that this is probably the case for every single one of you because this is a collective reading about lovers in separation. Clearly, there is still some distance. And what this is telling me is it's basically saying, not yet. That's what I'm hearing. For some of you, it's not yet. Lastly, we have moving, change of residence, moving on, moving in with your partner. What I'm hearing, you may be moving 100% because you have a different focus. You're focusing on yourself. You're birthing new ideas, right? This is a period of you, right? And that's just, I'm going to sum up this entire reading for you. Your person that you're not in a relationship with, they're doing one of two things. They're either still playing the victim and their feet are nailed to the fucking kitchen floor, or they have woken up and they have started to do the work, but they are nowhere near ready to coming back. That's fine. Both of those scenarios, fine. You, my love, need to make peace with that, find your own closure, and keep moving forward, because there are things that you need to do for yourself. You need to move, you need to separate, you need to close that door because you've got new pathways that are coming in, and you need to know that there is still distance, right? They're not closing in, they're not knocking on your door tomorrow. You need to keep that distance because you have goals. Your goals are to continue to grow and heal and learn your lessons, identify your goals, get to know yourself, take small actions every single day towards your goals. You are crafting the life that you have always wanted to live. The more that you love yourself and focus on yourself and focus on your goals, the more open your energy is going to be to bringing in the love that you deserve, right? And you are going to be in such a healthy place to receive it. Let your person, let them do what they're going to do. Right now, it's not your concern. You are now and should always be your number one concern. I hope that this resonated with you guys. If you liked it, please give this video a thumbs up. Until next time.